Hello, this is my blog series where I talk about the work that we're doing at SignHealth on equity, diversity and inclusion, EDI. I aim to talk about the things that I'm trying to make progress with and talk about how to sit in the mud and the difficulty of this work. Feels really important to talk about what's happening at the moment in the UK. The violence and the hatred towards people from the global majority, including Muslim people, is terrible. And I know that it's making people in my friendship circle, my family, people who I work with, my colleagues, and members of those communities feel really unsafe. And it prompts difficult questions for us as leaders. What should we say and what words should we be using? We've been spending time having those conversations at SignHealth recently. They're not easy conversations to have, and they're often had over Teams, online, after work, after working hours. It's difficult. I'm really grateful to work with colleagues who trust each other and that we can challenge each other too. I see lots of leaders, hundreds of them, giving advice on what to say and how to say it, but it can be difficult to know whose advice to follow, and some of the advice differs, is in conflict. I think a lot of my concern or hesitation is about the fear of getting it wrong. But if I have learned anything in the past few years, it's how important it is to do things and to say things, not just to think them. And of course, it's about my white fragility too. I have the luxury and the power of worrying about getting it wrong, while so many of my friends and colleagues are faced with the real fear just of going outside. I'm also conscious of focusing only on this very recent current violence and the risk of forgetting all of the other issues that are still affecting people linked to racism. I've been learning over the past few weeks how some of the language that we use when we talk about anti-racism, it can exclude some people who experience racism. There's a risk that when we talk about people from the global majority or about black and brown people, some people, particularly Jewish people or people from the Gypsy Roman traveller community, they don't feel included in those descriptions. Given how much anti-Semitism we have seen, sadly, recently, it feels more important than ever to be talking in inclusive language. I don't have the perfect language, but I'm going to keep trying. I'm encouraged by the numbers of people who are coming together, taking part in rallies that are demonstrating anti-racist principles. It's really good to be reminded of how many people have positivity and love and how relatively few have real hatred in their hearts. That's a good thing to remember. We all need to think about how do we follow up on our statements of support and make sure that we're actually doing things to deliver on our commitments over the next few weeks and months. Seeing all the violence is a really strong reminder of how much work there is still to do. So as always, if you have any comments or feedback, please just let me know. Thank you.